Hi, and welcome to this edition of the Sustainable Scoop. Our region continues to be recognized for innovation and its technology startups. Joining me today is Dave McCarthy, founder and director of Potential Energy, and Raea Leinster of Yuck Old Paint. Thanks for joining me.
Oh, thanks for having us. We appreciate it.
Now, I'm so excited about your organization. Raea is one of your members, but tell me what Potential Energy is, or Potential Energy DC is, in terms of being an incubator for a small business. What does that mean?
Sure. First and foremost, an incubator we think of as a community. We saw a market niche here in DC where there was no real home for energy-related startups in their very early stages. So in a concept stage company, before there's any money involved, before there's any code written, before the first kilowatt hour has been produced. And there's no real home for those types of companies here in the DC metro area. And so that's what we're starting out with, is creating that community of like-minded entrepreneurs trying to solve energy and environmental problems together. And so we share resources, we share ideas, we share leads for sales and things like that. And we go through a bit of a standardized program for basic business training along the way.
So you've used your experience in business, being an entrepreneur yourself.
Yeah, a couple times over, and it's the kind of situation where you sort of learn these lessons with bruised knuckles along the way. And now I'm at a point where I'd really like to help companies not have to go through some of those lessons that I learned the hard way back when.
And one of those companies joining us is Raea. You started a company called Yuck Old Paint.
Yes.
So how did Yuck Old Paint get connected to Potential Energy, and what happened?
I think what's so great about being in the Arlington environment is I had heard about PEDC through the Arlington Chamber of Commerce. They have a wonderful Green Business Committee. It is a group of like-minded members of the chamber. And I had put an ask out there to my colleagues to say, hey, I'm looking for some new office space, but I'm preferably an incubator. And I wasn't aware yet of PEDC. But someone who's a green business consultant who's very familiar with Dave McCarthy and the operation introduced me to it. And I phoned up Dave. He answered right away. And I met him at the offices in Tyson's, and I just knew it was home. It was a place where I had to be. And a lot of it is because of the focus on the other startup companies that are also in the green energy space. And that's really important. There are other incubator companies in the region, in the Mid-Atlantic region, where they specify on broad-based technology. These are hardcore coders.
You wanted to be with your bubble bees.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you came there. What happened next? You just set up a desk and...
I think for other incubator companies that might actually be some of their experience. What I appreciate so much about being a part of Dave's group and PEDC is Dave was extremely proactive in following up with me and getting me to sit down and he's a very active coach. He's very much a coach as opposed to someone who is just directing people that are renting office space from him. So he wanted to make sure that what were my weaknesses as a business executive, where are my strengths. We looked upon and reviewed my history. I was in telecom for 15 years where I had extensive experience in branding, TV commercials, full-on global channel communications. That I know very, very well. I know how to build a brand. I know nothing about the financials. I just have a gut raw instinct that my business model is successful because the marketplace has responded so successfully to it. So how do I wrap the financial package around that to sell it to investors? That's my weakness. And that is where Dave has been extraordinarily helpful with me.
And Dave, when we spoke before, you talked about the 4 phases that a company finds themselves in. Raea's might be a good example. Where was she in those 4 phases?
Sure. So the 4 phases, it starts with concept stage, where the company is really just forming their idea, getting the business set up from a legal point of view, and really doing a lot of customer discovery work to find out who the customer is and what the value proposition is for a company, long before any product gets delivered. Then companies go into a phase called demonstration or demo, or what we're starting to call it now is business case validation, where kind of a small customer sample, but they prove out what they're trying to get done and the value they want to offer to clients. So Raea is in that next phase, which is called revenue, where the company's actually up and running, generating revenue, delivering services and products to clients. Then the final phase that we go through is called scale. And that's usually where companies will get a certain amount of financing to really blow the concept either nationally or internationally. And that's when you try to get that hockey stick moment for the companies going.
Right, so that's when you use your big contacts, pick up the phone and...
Yeah,
Yeah.
but we want to make sure that the basis of the company is set really well, and they have a business case that's solid and people are willing to pay for it. Because I think what's kind of hurt the green space, energy, clean tech, and all of those things were a lot of very wide-eyed people saying, we're going to go out and change the world, and they didn't have a real business model, solid value proposition to go out into the world with. And Raea is somebody that is in that environmental space that has a really good business plan together and a really good value proposition to get across to clients.
Absolutely, the investors want to see the green.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well,
yeah.
people are coming around to see you, and you're having events all the time, and you're building membership. I believe you said you have 10 members right now?
That was a month ago. We're up to 12 already.
12, congratulations.
So, yeah.
So how can people get in touch with you and learn more, not just about your business, but also your members' businesses?
Sure, a couple of ways. One, Raea mentioned that she picked up the phone and called me. I am always available for phone calls. I mean, we're trying to build a community, and part of that is being responsive to people and making sure you're available when somebody wants something. So my phone number, 703-629-4056. Call me anytime.
And we put your information up on the screen.
Okay, good.
And they can certainly watch you again on the Sustainable Scoop, because I have to have Raea back here to talk more about her project.
Please do, because really the way we do this is we don't want PEDC to always be front and center. We want the companies who are our emissaries and our success stories to be out in front.
We will certainly do that. We'll put you front and center. And viewers, so be sure to tune in as we continue to focus on sustainable businesses. I'm Miriam Gennari. That's the Sustainable Scoop. Back to the news desk.